Sounds of Afunika. Do you like Zambian music like that?
Of course, I grew up on the copper belt, so I'm pure copper.
Okay.
And the only music actually I listen to, I not that I choose, but I saw copper belt music.
That's the best music.
Anything with a copper attached, were there.
Okay, so even the current wave of Kopala artists now, the like of what's his name?
Big One,
Blood Kid.
Blood Kid.
Do you listen to those?
You know,
Chandana K.
I think okay, Chandana K. I listen. No one wachongo sana, but Funika, Makitu,
Okay.
and you know the old school music. Now which they are calling old school, which was just you know recent music.
7 years ago, it's old school now.
It's old school now. I think we're getting old, but new artists that come up, we listen. I listen to your maps here and there.
Okay.
Especially if you know he's got Abel Chungu has a very good touch.
Yes.
Alright.
Dandy Crazy was like my favorite, and you know I used to be abroad, and you know I used to hear Chintelelwe and all those things, and you know I didn't know why I fell in love. Wanted to realize that the guy was from Kitwe, just like me. And when I had events in Zambia, you know, I would invite the whole crew, and then people would ask him, but now we should invite our cover you know, and may he so rest in peace, King Dandy, was a great guy. Chico Wise, very few people know him. Also great lad, may he so rest in peace. So let's protect Avena Mulaza, let's protect Avena Funika, you know, Mozegeta, you know, also Chiunda music.
Amazing. I think we should do a music segment.
No, we should do we should invite you.
Then I like Congolese music.
Okay. Could see you. Did it break your heart yesterday that Congo lost?
Bana Congo, bana Zambito, Simbana Maboko.
But let's get straight into
I felt bad, you know. Je suis Congolais.
Right, man. Let's get into the conversation, and obviously it's something that people are waiting to hear. And I want us to start from a point of where, because this is a conversation that is going around, the reserves that we do have in our country. And because most people don't understand, and you're here, I want you to give them the pros and the cons of the reserves that we do have in the country at the moment. And also, if you can make Zambians understand how these reserves do work for the Zambian people.
So, Mwena Zambia, there's Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance is tasked with collecting government revenue and also allocating expenditure. And the Ministry of Finance does that through a national budget. And in the national budget, before the year begins, somewhere in October, the Ministry of Finance presents to Parliament a list of possible revenue streams. So they say this is a tax we are going to collect. This is a non-tax revenue we are going to collect, like fees for passports, RATSA fees, land rates, and all those things. And this is what we are going to collect. And we intend to spend on ABCD. And you've seen what we want to spend on to improve, for example, the lives of the people is more than the revenue that we are going to collect from tax and non-tax. So we have inserted the debt finance, meaning we want to borrow this amount of money. Now they can borrow through treasury bills domestically, or they can go and borrow outside the country. Yes. Budget is passed, and the Ministry of Finance starts collecting revenue and starts spending, building your schools, building your roads, social cash transfer, and all these things. From what I've mentioned, there's no reserve there. Because the Zambian government, Ministry of Finance, never budgets for foreign reserves. That is not the duty of the Ministry of Finance. That is fiscal policy, which is a preserve of the Ministry of Finance. Then we have another institution called the Bank of Zambia. The Bank of Zambia is the primary monetary authority in the country. What do I mean? The Bank of Zambia is the institution tasked to ensure that the Zambian kwacha is stable, that you and me are able to buy goods and services in a stable currency. And also, if we want forex, we are able to buy forex and import whatever we want to import without questions. For that purpose, the Bank of Zambia has commercial banks that operate in the country. Those commercial banks, they are the ones that sell you and me dollars. Then the Bank of Zambia is the bank to banks. So when those banks keep those dollars in the bank, those dollars belong to you and me, clients. They are not part of the foreign exchange reserves. But the Bank of Zambia is aware that one day you can have a situation whereby you come to your bank and say, I want to order a VITS from Japan, for example. Here is a 40 pin, kwacha, which translates into $2,000, perikoma dollars to in Japan. The bank will not tell you, see, dollar, they will send immediately. Whether they are not to show that there's no dollars. So if that bank does not have money and you give them that instruction, do you know who comes to their aid? The Bank of Zambia. It gets money from its reserves and sends that, sells, the bank gives kwacha to boss gives the dollars and the money shipped to Japan. So where do those reserves come from? Bank of Zambia is an independent institution, independent from government. There's what we'll call Bank of Zambia independence. It's independent of the central government. Of course, the Bank of Zambia, tasked with monetary policy of the country, works hand in hand with the Ministry of Finance, but these two are separate. So the Bank of Zambia has its own money. Mind you, banks give it deposits. It's a bank. So banks give it deposit, and it's at its own money. It makes profits and so on, and it's an institution that is tasked with printing money in the Republic. So when Bank of Zambia, to keep those reserves, Bank of Zambia will keep US dollars, now Chinese yuan, and three other currencies as prescribed by the IMF. Those are known as reserve currencies. These currencies are currencies of countries who are the highest exporters in the world. I think five or six. So Chinese yuan, US dollar, Great British pound, euro, and so on and so forth. Bank of Zambia can keep. But the currency that we use for international trade mostly is the US dollar. So much of our reserves are the US dollar. So where does Bank of Zambia get it from? It gets it from by buying from the domestic market. So if you and me, companies, do not export things and we are paid dollars, Bank of Zambia won't have forex. And if Bank of Zambia doesn't have forex, the monetary system is going to collapse. So Bank of Zambia, when an exporter, for example, a mine, or let's assume, let's say Trade Kings. I'm not advertising them. I'm just mentioning so that it sinks to the people. Trade Kings exports things to Congo. Yeah? Masip, whatever they call it, they export to Congo. Then the Congolese are going to pay us dollars. When that money comes back to Zambia, Trade Kings pays salaries in kwacha. So they'll go to the bank, and sell those dollars. Now, in Zambia, banks also buy and sell dollars because there's a demand for kwacha and there's the demand for forex. So banks are constantly buying or selling. So Bank of Zambia is also a bank, and it will also purchase part of those dollars. So it purchases to ensure that at all times there's a forex, one, to meet citizens' needs for forex. As we are talking, I'm holding a pen. It was imported.
Yes.
Dollars went there. So if there was no dollar, this pen was not going to exist in the Republic. When you want to import a car, you want to import food. Even the internet bundles, some people are listening to us on social media. The internet is paid from abroad. Starting, you pay in dollars. With no dollars at the central bank, you won't be able to pay for starting because there will be no dollars. So Bank of Zambia buys from the open market. That's why they say we need to export more. And 80% of the forex in Zambia comes from copper and cobalt. These two minerals, copper and cobalt. Then now there are times when government also has needs. government has borrowed money from outside the country.
Mm-hmm.
They collect kwacha from taxes because debt service is put in the budget. They collect taxes in kwacha, go to the Bank of Zambia and say, Bank of Zambia, because the government banks with the central bank, banker to the state, to say, okay, Bank of Zambia, here's so much kwacha, give us dollars and pay on our behalf the debt. If Bank of Zambia goes with those kwacha, government goes with those kwachas to the Bank of Zambia to say, give me dollars, and the Bank of Zambia doesn't have dollars, it's catastrophe, we are going to default. Now, if there's few dollars in the country, that's when now you start having a toilet paper currency, where it's worthless. At the moment, Malawi is facing a similar crisis, where there is no forex. I think they have about $500 million in reserves. I need to counter-check that figure. That's why now they have two exchange rates, one on the black market, one at the official exchange rate. It's very difficult for them to get forex. Even if you send dollars there, you won't get them, you see. Zimbabwe has failed to get a currency because they messed up. You know, you only mess up once by not having reserves and collapsing your currency, and you never go. Because when your currency collapses, it means that the citizens, your own citizens, will never have trust in your currency again.
Yes.
So it will be very difficult for you to have a currency.
But then the Zambian people are still talking about, now that you've explained a little bit in depth on what reserves actually means, the argument here, I think that we're hearing for the average Zambian is, what's the point of having all this money when they're not feeling it on the ground as the Zambian average citizen?
But how are they not feeling it?
The cost of living, I was going to say, we have so much money in reserves, but minimum is still high.
But
you know, the prices of all these goods that we're buying is still quite high. So how do you explain that for the average Zambian, for them to understand that?
Because reserves and cost of living, these are two different things. Although reserves have an effect on the cost of living, and I'll explain to you why. Last year, $1 was equal to 28 kwacha. If you wanted to buy a $1,000 iPhone, you needed 28,000 kwacha to buy an iPhone. Because we have enough reserves in our votes, about over $6.5 billion, the investors, households, businesses have confidence in the Zambian management of our macroeconomic fundamentals. The kwacha has gained strength. And because we have the forex, whoever is trying to play funny to demand some dollars will provide those dollars. So they're just wasting their time. The traders cannot manipulate us. We have enough reserves. That's why the kwacha started gaining value. Now, when the kwacha gained value, it's about 18 kwacha per dollar now. So last year, you need 28,000 kwacha to buy a $1,000 iPhone. Now you need only $1,000. Oh, sorry, 18,000 kwacha. From 1 year, within 1 year, you are getting the saving is $10,000. Is not reduction in cost of living. The cost of living people are talking about is as a result of inflation. This country had inflation of over 20% for a persistent period of time, meaning that your money every year was losing value by over 20%. Of course, the cost of living is going to be. I remember in 2021, I think it was 24% inflation rate, meaning your money, your salary lost value by 24%. Now, in 5 years, it has lost by 100%. You know what I mean? Huh? So, all these things, of course, the cost of living is going to go high. Now, the inflation rate is 6%, 6.5 or something percent, meaning that now your earnings are losing value at a low rate. For you to be able to catch up, your salaries or your earnings to catch up to meet the cost of living, there are two things that need to happen. The long one is to wait for your salaries in the next few periods your salaries to increase more than the inflation rate. For example, if it increases by 10, 20, 15, you catch up with the cost of living. It takes 2-3 years, 4 years sometimes. That's the longest route. The quickest route is the strengthening of the Zambian kwacha, which we have achieved as a country. So what happens is that if you were getting 56,000 kwacha, Okay, let me use my examples are panga sense. But in some, I want to use. Okay, if you are getting 28,000 kwacha last year, your salary was only. Okay, if you are getting 18,000 kwacha, realistic salary, 18,000 kwacha, last year, your salary was about $600. Now your salary is $1,000, hasn't your salary increased? But the shops, the people that sell in the shops, even me as a businessman, the only way you can worship the mitengos is by finding cheaper markets. So, for example, me, this time I don't even go and buy electronics in the shop. While work website pa internet, cannot support field. I'll buy a TV from South Africa and bring it here. I'm telling you, there's an item I bought in Zambia. It cost 28,000 kwacha because it's hot stock, and people think we are down. We are used to those prices. It was costing 28,000 kwacha. Landing, taxes, everything here in Zambia, I paid 12 pin. Are you seeing the profit margin that is going into that? So, and I went to that shop and saw them, your thing cost 28. Me, I bought 12 pin landing here. It's at home. No, the prices will come. So, as more people do that, you are going to see the shop owners are going to start reducing the price.
So when Brian Mundwile and Makebi Zulu...
No, don't mention any politicians. They were discussing economics.
But we obviously have to mention what politicians have to say. When the opposition speaks to the fact that when they come into power, they will ensure that they use the reserves to cushion the situation of the Zambian people when it comes to the high cost of living. Do you think that is possible for the Zambian
people? I would like to assume that we are not referring
Yes, we're talking about the opposition.
No, we're not talking about the opposition. Mine is an academician. I don't want to help the opposition to win election. I don't want to help the ruling party to win election. Mine is just to speak, to explain, because we fight ignorance as lecturers. So I want to fight ignorance.
So is it possible to say that the
It is impossible
okay.
to get money from the reserves and pump it into whatever people want to do, and I'll explain to you why. There's what is known as Bank of Zambia Independence. It's enshrined in the laws of the Republic of Zambia. There are two instances. Zambian government, Ministry of Finance. Remember, Ministry of Finance only spends through a budget. There are two instances. Ministry of Finance can get money from the Bank of Zambia. One is by collecting taxes and having kwachas, then going to exchange those kwachas at Bank of Zambia for dollars. Meaning they should come with their own kwachas. They should have made that revenue somewhere else. And that's how they can exchange it. They can have access to those dollars. So that when the Bank of Zambia sells the dollars to the Zambian government, it has kwachas, which it can again go back on the open market to buy the same dollars and replace on the reserves. This is normally done to safeguard the integrity of the monetary system, for the monetary system not to collapse. That's instance one. Number two, the other way the Zambian government can have access to the reserves is by borrowing from the central bank. Now there is a limit as to how much money the Zambian government can borrow from the central bank. If the Zambian government borrows more than that limit as enshrined in the law, the officials at Bank of Zambia will be arrested, and the officials from the Zambian government will be arrested. That is a very huge case, borrowing above the limit. The reason why that is in the law is because sometimes government can pressure the central bank for all those monies and deplete the resources, therefore leaving the monetary system to collapse. I know it sounds sexy to say, we $6 billion, or 3 billion to be paid, and everybody loves it. Colleagues, when you do not play with the monetary system, when the kwacha starts losing value, things are not good. Why? Because most of the things that we consume are imported. Even the companies that are producing in Zambia, they import their raw materials. So when the kwacha loses value, it means it becomes expensive to import those things into the country. And if it becomes expensive, then the prices are going to be expensive. This cost of living that you are talking about is caused by the same thing. It's caused by high inflation rate And it was caused by the loss of value for the Zambian kwacha. The Zambian kwacha should never breach 20 kwacha per dollar. Never.
Okay.
Once it breaches that barrier, that's and when the kwacha starts losing value and the cost of goods starts increasing, yeah, it's very difficult to recover. So, colleagues, the mistakes that we have made in the past, this is the price that we are doing what? We are paying. And it takes time to come out from there. This, it takes time to, even me, if you put me as president, it's going to take time for me to reverse.
Okay.
But I know people don't have patience. They have no patience. But unfortunately, that's how it works. That's why we need to be making proper, sound economic decisions. That's why, as an academician, I'm guiding both the ruling government and the opposition not to lie to the Zambian people and not to mislead that. Not to say, no, it can't happen.
All right. So
No.
you're still listening to Capital FM 99.7, and we have Mr. Habazoka in the
Professor Luvinda Habazoka.
Professor Luvinda
Namusta for
Habazoka.
doctor, namusta for mister. No,
He's
professor.
corrected. He's professor,
Yes.
and he's in the studio. So all the economic questions that
Of
you
the
have,
professor of the University of Zambia.
they say the only university in Zambia.
The only university. Shara.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, we have him in the studio today, and we're talking about all things the Zambian economy. And you can definitely call in at exactly 9 hours and add your voice, comment, and contributions. We are live on Facebook and Capital FM 99.7, as well as Smart Eagles. Now, Professor, you have talked about how you are advising both the ruling and the opposition to basically give realistic promises. Now, heading towards the 2026 general elections, what are some of the policies you'd like the opposition or the UPND to look at to ensure that the Zambia economy is actually moving in a more progressive manner?
You know, kudos to the current point. Of course, there have been some deaths in Mazabuka and in Wapro, Northern Province. But overall, I think that the elections have been peaceful. This is a very huge, pat on the back. We need to pat ourselves on the back for, I think we have experienced the first elections that are this calm. I don't know where we are going forward to. I think this is the only election where we are discussing ideas. And, I was talking to people that in 2026, you can't lie to Zambians. Next time, GPT and Google, they will Google it to find out what it means, and they'll make their own judgment. So it is becoming increasingly difficult for the politician to lie to citizens. Yeah, but of course we still have challenges in terms of citizens being able to understand these particular issues. So my advice to political parties, citizens are expecting more of what you can do for them, but please, let's avoid telling them non-existent things. And also, let's not discourage, things like saying that Wakariom Sebo, Reserves, they are useless, inflation in Inshi. When you tell citizens inflation and is rubbish, and they believe that, because they believe, yeah, some will believe, and then inflation has become 22%. They won't know where the cause of the problem are. Mind you, we are also raising the young generation. When the young generation thinks having high inflation is good, colleagues, inflation, when we were growing up, we were inflation. Hyperinflation, where prices were changing every day. You go in the shop, sugar in 10 kwacha, Milo in 12 kwacha, either day in 14 kwacha, either day in 15 kwacha. People start panicking about black market, sender. So things like reserves, this should be protected. And as a professor in banking and financial economics, reserves, that's part of the function of my profession. That's why you see I'm talking about them. These are sacred. They are very much sacred. They should be. And macroeconomic fundamentals, these are not just figures. It's quite disappointing that even educated people are just considering this to be just figures. Colleagues, when you say GDP is just a figure, do you know what GDP is? For you to understand how we fared the previous year, we need to look at how much products have we done what? have we produced in a calendar year. GDP is vonse muzambia mukapanga vintu uyo amangako nyumba uyo agulisako tomato uyo ashako musalu uyo ashako katata 7 days bambi bashako enyangu. We put all those things together, yeah, and sum them. Those are the total products we have produced in a calendar year. That is GDP. So when we say that this year we have produced 6% more than we produced last year, it means we are not stagnant, we are progressive. Now that figure is average. Some might have produced 10%, some might have produced less, but average 6%, well, it's a very good signal. So GDP, these are not just figures. Colleagues, tuyashanga twasambirira amasambiro twashapa mwishi ya klasunga twafuma twaluka fefuwewe. These are serious matters.
Okay.
Same with inflation.
Okay.
I've already explained what it is. Very important. Exchange rate. Tatuakalie kwa dola nai kwa chara inomba tukaladi ya mwenshi, my friend. Nifisha kwa umwana, a child who's kept by the parents does not know where the food come from. They will be just overusing them as sugar. Taveshi bati bawishi wala mujira pa street. Back to fia kula fise pa table. You know, tamushi welele yakwa tawa fia shina beka la mchimuti cha mango. Na buila. Bali feleka walizi tawishi efu baye tondonganya. You know, but wanoko balesa lwapoli mbeamani na kabwali na balesa lwapoti koko. Tawishi bati under the tree, my pressure is to put food on the table. So that's the way also the economy operates.
Okay.
So we need to be to work. We need to, as a country, to work as a single unit.
Okay, you see on Capital FM 99.7. The time is 8:44. We're having a conversation with Professor Luinda Hawasoka, and we're speaking to different issues that are speaking to the economy. I want us to speak to the suspension and the extended suspension of excise duty and VAT on petroleum products. And of course, this is helping stabilize fuel prices and everything else. But what are the repercussions in the long term?
I think it's very expensive because taxes on fuel, everybody consumes fuel. Taxes on fuel are government revenue and a huge major source of government revenue. And as such, we need to reinstate them. Of course, this will never be reinstated during this period because this is a campaign period. That's one. Two, the reason for which they were imposed is still there. The Strait of Hormuz still has a lot of issues. Ukraine, USA and Iran are still fighting. So there's also stability issues there. We have seen what is happening in Russia, Ukraine war. There are some certain issues. So, but this removal of these things on fuel, the consumption taxes, is really hitting the national budget. But anyway, we shall see how it goes. And if you have seen, the Zambian government cannot get money from the reserves to buy you fuel. It can't happen because that's not the function. They can only get kwachas to go and do it, or they can borrow money from the central bank. I think it should be not less than 10% of government revenue for the previous year. There's a law which limits the amount of money they can borrow. But they can't just go and say, those are not the reserves for. So, and fuel, there's what is known as the fuel reserve fund, which needs to be created to be stockpiling money for that particular process. So there are various reserves that exist. I think here I can also understand people that are misused, do not understand what these reserves are, because a country normally has various types of reserves. For example, I am the one who advocates for Zambia having a stabilization fund. Yes, from that fund you can have money, and you can question, you have so much money in the stabilization fund, why are you not pumping in the economy? Because the stabilization fund is not foreign exchange reserves that whose purpose is to provide stability in a country's monetary system. So those are for other purposes. So you might understand, but we're here to educate.
All right, so the phone lines will be open shortly. The number is 0773792475. 0773792475 is the number that you can call us on when we open the phone lines soon. Now, Professor Habazoka, the past 5 years, what are some of the tangible or profitable policies that have been put into place that you can definitely recommend the current administration for?
When UPND came in, I think they made a lot of promises, and the same way I'm saying here, like the UPND itself and the opposition to say do not overpromise. There are certain things that might appear simple, but they are very difficult to achieve, especially given the economic conditions in which we are. By 2021, we are defaulted on our debt, meaning people could not accept us to get anything on debt. They wanted cash on delivery. And inflation rate was above 24%. The Zambian kwacha was losing value. By the way, there was also no money in circulation. Do you know that? Yeah, that's why there was no money in circulation. So the Zambia had huge debt payments. We were supposed to be making, I think, close to $2 billion a year in debt service, foreign debt service. But today, we have restructured our debt. That's kudos. We have managed to stabilize the value of the Zambian kwacha. It's now hovering around 18 kwacha, which I think you can agree with me that has never happened. The Zambian kwacha for 5 years has remained, because I think PF left it around this amount, 18, 17, somewhere there. So first it went to 23.
Yes.
And then in July, August, it started gaining because the IMF gave us $1.3 billion. Are you seeing? The IMF gave us in 2021 $1.3 billion into our reserves. Yeah, and we had $1.2 billion in the reserves then. The lowest, some of the lowest reserves we have ever recorded in the country. When that money was coming in, of course, the rumor came in that it was going to come, but I think it came in when there was transition, when the UPND was already there. That gave hope, and the kwacha started gaining value, and it has actually gained. For you look at five-year period, so I think they can be commended for not eroding the value of the Zambian kwacha. They can be commended for bringing a single-digit inflation. Although I'm not a huge fan of government employment, I think they can be commended for employing teachers in hospitals, schools, agriculture extension officers. They can be commended for doing free education and school feeding programs. You know, yesterday, I had written an article some time back where I was condemning the potential of school free education, and I said free food feeding in the schools.
School feeding program.
Yeah, was going to be expensive. So I met this woman. You know, this thing that we spray in the media, people remember and they actually follow us. We're answerable for the words. That's why I didn't want to address my brother, Honorable Mundwele, because we are my team. We are very close, and he's a nice gentleman. So that woman comes to me and say, look, do you know that I could not send my children because I couldn't afford PTA? They would chase my child. That's one. Two, if there's no food at home, how are they going to learn? So my children, I'll just tell them, do not go there, because they'll be envying lunch boxes of their friends. So now that there's a food program, some families who are not even sending kids, they are sending them to school so that they pressure breakfast. They are eating at school. So this school feeding program is actually helping to feed families. Apart from what government is doing, food for work, food packs, cash for work, social cash transfer. These are very important things. And of course, they were there under the PF and under MMD. we were very worried that a liberal party like the UPND was going to remove them, but instead they actually doubled the amounts that are being given to these people. So you can actually comment. In terms of the social aspects, they have really done well. Of course, in terms of infrastructure development, there are limitations on how much they could pump in, because we have a lot of debt. So which roads are they going to do? They can, like I explained earlier, governments can only collect money from taxes. Energy sector, I think I'm not a strong believer of solar, but I think the solar power plants, we can be rest assured that if there will be load shedding, I think we'll never do 10 hours load shedding. But although I cannot know, because I don't know the rate at which the economy is growing, the population is growing, because energy demand was also dependent on population growth, meaning the amount of energy you are supposed to provide to the grid, the rate at which the growth rate should be higher than the growth rate of infrastructure.
Okay.
So I think they've done quite a lot, and I think for me, on the economy, I think Hakainde Hichilema has performed. I think last time I was on a radio station, I won't give him a rating, because that is the only
That's
thing.
one of the questions. The question is for you to rate.
That's the only thing I want to work around, but then want to candidates, because now we are politically charged the nation. But I can tell you, he has performed. He has done wonders. Okay, I think he has exceeded. He has exceeded my expectation. That one I can tell you.
Okay, talking about some of the policies you feel like the UPND could have done a little bit better in this 5-year administration. What are some of the areas? I think you've talked about the energy sector. Other people would argue the 10 hours of load shedding was a little bit too extreme. So I want you, from the professor perspective, what are some of the areas you feel like the UPND could have done better?
Quarter montage. I think that the UPND could have paid local contractors.
Okay.
There are those that supplied air, of course, where they supply Omwela, and government agencies know about them, but there are those that have been caught up in this wave, and they are genuine businesses. I think those should have been paid. But I think given the economic situation we are in, there was very little room for government to maneuver. I also think that government should have worked quickly on the issues of small-scale miners, gold miners. I have a plan. I think I gave it to former President Edgar Lungu on how to use artisanal miners to produce gold for Bank of Zambia through Zambia Gold Company. Actually, if you don't know, that Zambia Gold Company, it was created as advice that we gave to the Republican president in 2018. Zambia Gold Company was created as a result of my advice. Because there are people who say, but what have you done? You know, so the idea was that these small-scale miners, you find them Walemba guy, you give them the license, then they don't sell into those briefcase investors. They need to sell to Zambia Gold Company. Zambia Gold Company finds it and sells it for kwacha to the Bank of Zambia. And Bank of Zambia uses those golds as gold reserves, or they can sell them when they want. So I think they should move quickly.
Okay.
Or they should have moved quickly on that. And I think now they are listening, because during election period they listen. If they come back, I think that they should get in touch, and we can help them come up with this solution quickly. Whoever wins the election should come, and we are going to do that instead of because I hear when people say that we are going to use the reserves to pump into the economy, I think it's a sign that probably there's no plan to diversify revenue sources. So I can feel it as a signal to say people don't have a plan of where they're going to get extra money to pump in the economy. First of all, I think they acknowledge that resources are limited, so the only source are the reserves. But these are reserves that have been stockpiled by another agency through sweat. You can't go into them. So I can tell you that manganese, gold, can empower the locals and also provide revenue for government, because you are creating jobs. And I can tell you that according to my plan, all those friends of mine, Bajarabo, Bakamushi, Bamuntu, once we are attention, because you know one thing we don't know is that Zambians, we all think they want to do business. No, we are different. The majority of the kids want just a factory to go and work. Two, majority of the kids, just some of them, cop, that's what the only thing they know. So give them what they want, and the government should find a way of helping that. And the ZCCM IH was tasked with that arrangement, but I don't know. Maybe the people that work there more of a son, but you need to be on the ground. And I always tell people that the civil service does not go up for election. So any government that wins an election should ensure that the rules of the civil service run quickly.
Okay.
I've been trying to connect electricity now number 1 week, but no, it's too early. I'm right 1 week to connect us. So I'm gonna have my there because this Ning kwata collection muri amushita pro system ngani fina la mimi. I'm just joking.
We're still having a conversation with Professor Habazoka right here on the show, and the phone lines are open. The number you're calling us on is 0773 792 That is 0773 792 And if you can call us, you can drop us a text message. We do have a caller.
Good morning, you're through to Capital FM 99.7. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Morning.
Yes.
Yes, morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Mr. Banda, I think that is the Professor Howard.
Yes. Your comment and contribution this morning.
How are you?
Atafika chilapa wali. Siwi chilapa nsima wa banda. Chemba chisira atafika chilapa wali. Meaning everything is okay.
Yeah, carry on, Mr. Banda.
Yes. Now, Professor, you have explained very well. No wonder I've been saying that, the problem we have in this country is like the politicians normally sideline technocrats. Everything now is going to be political. Now, coming to the same issue of reserve, I think the autonomous bank of Zambia has been explained well. The cycle has also been explained well. However, I was expecting you, being an academician, also to talk about the severity of mounting so much debt. For example, what if the debt of the Bank of Zambia touches 100 billion USA dollars? How can the government benefit? Or can we create the policy? Or what is it that we can do so that the Zambians also are benefiting? Because we cannot be just proud to say reserves are going up, there are restrictions, we can't accept them. This is where I think a person will find it very difficult to understand.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Banda.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, let's take on another call. Good morning. You're through to Capital FM. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Thank you very much. This is Kingsley, the voice of Chambaba. Good morning.
Yes, morning, Kingsley. Your contribution under a minute, 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, the guest and my sister there.
Good morning.
Okay, thank you very much. I think kudos to the guest. Well elaborated. He has articulated the issues very well. And I think we need to appreciate where it is due. Like free education. The free education itself, imagine 2-point-something million children are back in school, which is a question, and no one can even. I think a normal Zambian should approach the UPND over that policy, because the drop out of school, school fees. Not even my examination fees. So you have a petiliza UPND, and in front of Sako guest baona branch. Is there any need of kuchitana can kuchinja government, because government is teaching the monga movement teaching la vovala or kuchita experiment monga football game
Thank you, Mr. Kingsley.
If there is any need of changing the government.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you very much, Mr. Kingsley. Let's take on one last call, and then Professor can respond.
Before we take on the calls, please make your comment or contributions as short and precise as possible to give chance to more callers. Good morning, you're through to Capital FM 99.7. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Good morning. This is from Musanda.
Okay, Mr. Musanda, in under a minute, your comment, question, or contribution.
Professor.
Awe, tafile chilapo wali.
Mwalondola kuna sana. But I'm making for the rule started. Walipa kwa watu hawa pale kwa mtoto mwalondola kuna wino sana pale. So it's very difficult for them to give a political position to those people that don't understand the situation.
All right,
Okay,
thank you
thank
so
you very
much.
much. Okay, so 3 questions from the callers, and we can take on more later, but you can respond to the 3 questions.
So, Mr. Banda, yes. So, having too much reserves is not a bad thing. Actually, this is the best. Countries compete for reserves, and the size of the population and the size of the country, 6.5 billion is not even enough. We need about $20 billion in reserves for us to, to be able to absorb a lot of, just to use not technical language. So for us to be able to even get to be able to freely import things, because now even importing we have a limit because we don't want to put pressure on the value of the Zambian kwacha. But I understand you. We need to have certain types of reserves, like I mentioned, the stabilization fund, which we can pump into the economy. So there's, besides the foreign exchange reserve, my advice to government is that we need to create a development fund managed by the Bank of Zambia for the purpose of pumping or funding development in the country. Mr. Banda, I agree with you. And that's why I mentioned that we need to tap into gold, manganese, and even other minerals. And we need to empower the locals, let them do these things. These are Zambians, genuine people. They want to do business. Bagaya wale for kuomba, IDC should be creating companies and also provide an enabling environment for you and me who want to do business to be able to open companies. It should be very easy to be compliant. Kingsley from Chamba Valley, free education, it's very true. It's a very, me, can I tell you one thing? I grew up on the Copper Belt, and I don't want to say most of the people that I was with in class at primary school, I think there are very few that have made it, like very few, yeah. Some are top lawyers, some are what, but when you look at the majority, but let's say talk about extension. And I was going to be, not that Uksanfia is bad, because that is a person working hard. I've watched cars in Europe, now una car, it's not an easy job. So what I'm trying to say is that I would not have reached where I was or where I am without education. Both my parents were teachers. One primary school teacher, one secondary school teacher, and went on to teach at the college, my father. And they didn't have money. That time during Chuba, if a disaster to emergency, my parents' salary was $30. During the 90s, $30. So they struggled through. Of course, we started under Kaunda Free Education. And Wambo Kualipira, they had boards. We started paying for schools, and I was sent to Kafia Boys Secondary School. I could see how we could not have food, but my father would go borrow even money for me to pay boarding fees. And you could see that by the time I was reaching grade 12, he was like basically struggling. Then I had to make a decision, and if I didn't study, I was just going to be a junkie, So I chose school, and I tell the kids, the children, the youth that are listening to say, some things might not make sense. You think there's a beautiful girl, you need to be chasing girls. Beautiful girls come even when you have more money. When you are relaxed, you have money, you can afford whiskey to Pasao Bay and things like that. The girls will come.
Okay, we
Just
got
in
more
now,
callers.
just for me to finish, this point is very. So, when I got the Zambian scholarship, Zambian government scholarship to go and study abroad, I can tell you my parents did not spend not even a single way on me. This, where I've reached now, it's because of free education up to university level. And I thank the Republic of Zambia for having educated. And I can tell you that where I am here, I have like 3 job offers, international job offers. I normally have them, and I don't know why they always come during election period. Maybe they're giving me options. And that's the way, because I'm educated and I've gained my experience and I've remained disciplined. Is there a need for government change? Well, like I've said, I was very much connected with the former president, ECL. I miss him. I dream about him every day. And his team, Mundubire, Makebi, all those are people that I know. When I'm with him, with them, I feel, these are friends. We know each other. And I can tell you that, contrary to what people are saying, Brian Mundubire is a very intelligent man. Makebi, very intelligent. These can make very good leaders. And I think one day they're going to be very good leaders. But I think it's too early to throw them into governance. And I'll tell you why. Because the party is 2 to 3 months old. There's an alliance. I really don't know how the alliance, I know it will sound very bad to them, and these are my friends, but we are also looking at the country. There's an alliance between them. There are 2 parties, Ichola, Ilampi. When you win elections in such situations, the cracks start showing up because you have 2 centers of power and like. So when you see those issues, they also reflect on how government runs, you see. And also, I'm told 72 constituencies they haven't filled in.
Yes.
And I can tell you that if Makebi and Mundubire started this alliance last November, they were going to fill in all the constituencies. They were going to have MPs, but they didn't have enough time to even plan. There are some constituencies where they have 2 candidates competing against each other. This shows you that they are not ready to go into government. That's one. That's from the other aspect. But I'm not saying they are not good leaders. Those are very intelligent people. Contrary to what you are writing on social media, Mundubire is very, very intelligent.
Okay, let's take
Then the UPND. The UPND, President HH has 2 phases. The first phase is a stabilization phase of the economy. I am a friend to the late president, and I was in the thick of things. And thanks, people think Governor Mvunga was a very good Bank of Zambia governor, Honorable Minister Wang, and those came to stabilize the economy because they were thrown into the ring when the things started going sour. Yeah, starting from the Eurobonds. This destroying starts from a long time. So President HH had very little to maneuver around. His role was to stabilize the economy. The economy now is stabilized. We are going upwards. It would be a disservice for the country to substitute him now, because we are going to erode all the gains that have been made so far. I'm not endorsing anybody, but in my opinion, I think he should continue for another 5 years. And if you want change, the only alternative that I'm seeing now is Mundus.
Okay.
But that depends on the people of the Republic of Zambia. And please get it very clearly from me. I am not telling you who to vote for. I'm giving you my opinion. Don't even get hate about what I've said. I might not even go and vote.
Okay, let's take on a few more calls, and you have a caller.
Good morning, you're through to Capital FM 99.7. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Good morning. Good morning, Professor Abazoga and my 2 moderators there.
Okay, good morning, your name and where you're calling from?
This is Mr. Magondo. I'm calling from within.
Okay, your comment or question in under 1 minute.
1 minute. Mine, since I cannot explain a lot of things in 1 minute, just a commendation.
All right, thank
And
you.
I would like you, Professor, I like the way you are using,
mwamufya kwechisungu, mwamufya kwechinyanja palya. I think this is what is lacking in most of our leaders. Because as I'm speaking to you right now, people even in Kalingalinga, they're able to pick one or two things. Please, can you go around so many radio stations? Not if you have a professor, if you know Kaonde, you throw it Kaonde Valley, it's quite interesting and I'm very happy. Thank you very much. Continue and go to many, many radio stations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take on another call. You through to Capital FM, your name and where you're calling us from.
Good morning.
Good morning, your name?
My name is Chleshe, calling you from Garden.
Your contribution under 1 minute 30 seconds.
Professor, good morning.
Good morning, Mwafyash.
Thank you so much. If you're and Africa, that's why in my first suggestion on the text, I suggested that maybe we ask Uncle Dixon Jerry to draft a motion so that we can table in Parliament that every presidential candidate who is aspiring to be a president must first pass through for just an hour session so that maybe you can discuss on the economic aspect. Yesterday, Professor, I was chatting with one of my friends, though he was coming from the opposition on how these reserves and the DORA issue are going. Actually, it was a staunch PF cadre. You know what he told me? He told me to say, on the aspect of stabilizing the economy, even us who are importing something from maybe China, I think we have benefited. It's only that we, the people, we have got a tendency when something is cheaper from where you are bringing from, we don't want to reduce. And this is why maybe we are asking from you who are equipped with this information to sit with the government to say if these things are like this, where they are coming from, why are we not seeing them getting down?
Okay, as you conclude, let
me just make this point in 30 seconds. So he was ordering, I think he sells the socks. He was ordering at 4,200. He's now ordering at 3,600. So you have seen that reduction. And I said, do you want this to continue? He says, yes. So we are appealing to you leaders who have got this information, maybe to help government to see that some of the things must start coming down. You remember the issue.
Okay, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we'll have to cut you so we can take on other calls. Let's speak another call. Let's speak another caller.
Good morning. Yes, you to Capital FM 99.7. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Morning, madam.
Okay, your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Mulenga. Professor
Mushan.
Okay, Mr. Mulenga, your comment or contribution in under 1 minute 30 seconds.
Yes, yeah. Nengu professor baranda tibalishika kuna mamotoka. Because economy abantu bena bamunafe kwa kibuyikara fye wacherera mubwalwa. Because Zambia nga kwali byefyalo efyo abantu bademu okuyikumba n'okutakinya. Twalyamba okukolana na Congo ifufwema Zambia n'ekibali. Go to Tanzania.
Mwanchipaya.
Tutawasange nakwata bw'ekibali ng'ekirangire ba professor kibakisuka kuna amamotoka. Nga iwe ushaya kuna ku skulu. Kali muno mukyalo kyose kya Zambia ng'akwata paper grade 12 nangwako akwata kufika digiri nshirwanya nomba ekokene kwakulawo minako abantu bw'embyaleka n'okulabomba.
Okay.
Economy uli wonse mu Zambia nga kyali kyakweba ayi matwamba okulabomba uli wonse nakyerera kukiro kulalolesha pali president before tawula kulema president ipushe first iwe finshi wakitapo irenda monana abantu bali kwatama yajaya batyale irishanya no ekitepo nayitura iwe.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mulenga, for your comments. In conclusion, yes, go ahead.
In the conclusion ukasanga alikwata n'empanga apa kwe bati kuti alima amataba alikwata famu bati omuntu aleta ndawula pabunga kuti wamwipusha tukibadda muletontonkani afe kulina oloshani.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you so
Mulenga.
much, Mr. Mulenga. We appreciate your comment and contribution.
Okay,
Okay.
let's also just pick one question from our comment section, and this is coming from Henry Mwendamumba, who says inflation is at 6.5 while borrowing rates are at average 25%. Why aren't the borrowing rates reducing in line with inflation? That's a question by Henry Mwendamumba, and you can tackle those questions and a question from the comment section.
I think that, thank you. I normally go around radio stations, but ndabombana ine so tivakutamvenchi to a guy, but I try to explain to people of what problem, what I've noticed in Zambia. Those of us that want to help educate the people, vatukana sana. So sometimes wamba nokuipisha, but nishi ndechitanje foreign chitenshi, but abantu vale ntukana, but ndeve vako. You know, if we were very bad people, ngatulabomba kufyalo fyabene, but this is the only country which we call home. Then Cheshe Gordon, Nalamwe Dixon to draft that bill in Parliament, Freto Apishamo. And it's true, those people that are genuine, you know, these days, pretty genuine thinking, na malicious thinking. Umwana kashina ngwabe umusuma shani. Maybe ngwadipata family yabo, te chumone kwati musuma. So there are some that are seeing that are objectives, they are seeing the improvements. Some that are not objectives, they are not seeing the bad things. So apani politics at play. Bamrenga, it is very true. Mzambe to itemasa nechipale to a level whereby nganachita advertising to nalikwata insurance brokerage firm. Nganachita advertising to tapada vesako. Walefu afiri nchito nganasa mfati why mwana job description te kupala uka iyo kuika FM office ule chonga. But ile nchito ya kupala uka, you know, I can tell you in panondi uli professor wandi kuna bati banchita ti senuka fuel, for example. Mwise mulande parifi. Without even money, I use my own fuel, and sometimes this is the last money that I have, but you go there, you speak, you come back, community service. Shimwe nchito kuna bati, come to the copper belt and speak shanshanu. Wale ya kupere MPN 5 zada, of which minti wa causing upon a scene pa pene 500 kwacha shanshan, but you don't know that everything has a purpose. Kumoko tuya limbi mwa kufero film just for speaking $10,000. I mean, that's those are the standards. But we need to be able to Zambians to be hardworking. Next part of Pambadi, Stanley, Henry. Lending rates are not just independent on inflation rate. Sometimes in default rate. When Zambia, the Kenime Chinga, Tawatemokweshen Congore. I also own. I'm in the business of microfinance, and I can tell you that I want to actually forge my payslip. Wala for jama reji wala chitati nimbi muri one day ayakuma companies ayari 5 akongora elo paseti baya pungana kula kupemik, for example, then you start waiting for 3 years pakusang pokendera mashowe. People are not serious. So because of the mu finance money ocho about risk versus return. It was created by Linton and Chappé in the, you know, after the 1960s. They're the ones that came with the capital asset pricing model. Now I'm becoming a bit technical, but bringing it down, Linton and Chappé balandi that investors, rational investors, okuba amuna risk iti ikulu na return ilaba high.
Unfortunately, due to time, we'll have to cut you short. We have we're almost reaching the end of the program, but in under 1 minute, what is your message to the Zambian people that are saying you're saying all these things, but we're still struggling? Under 1 minute, what can you explain for them that the Zambian economy is performing like this, and this is how you are actually experiencing it as the Zambian people benefits from it?
I think that first of all, we need to acknowledge that we still have a lot of challenges, cost of living, unemployment levels, especially among us youth. But, you know, the trajectory on which we are going speaks to the fact that those things are going to be sorted out in the near future. Should we continue being fiscally disciplined, should we continue managing our affairs prudently? So my appeal to Zambians is to, remove tribal hats, remove political hats, and look at the future of our country from a genuine perspective. And as we go into the elections, we need to remember that you have a life after elections. Ishinsere mulende mwana pa Facebook ndeti no kuchenjere mawe tamaka bwere kuzambemwe. Ishinsere mule website umuntu alipa yo muntu. Tamaka bwere imwe. Ero ngabamika tapa airport that no, this is politically motivated. Some of the things that we say, look at me. I have navigated through various regimes. I talk too much, but now of late I'm sure you have seen that I've toned down. Wisdom and getting wisdom, understand that we need to be issue-based, not people-based. So my appeal to citizens is that let's be issue-based, no violence, let's not stop insulting. Nangutu kanelobe, chimbala wala kunganya pokule chimbala, because instead destroys, they don't build. But if you're going to be a very good person, creating synergies and what, God is going to bless you, and you're going to do it, to succeed.
All right,
yes.
thank
Okay,
you.
that was Professor Lubindawa Soka today on the show, and we did have different conversations because you speak Congolese. Asante sana for coming through.
Asante sana, that was Kiswahili.
Kiswahili
ni ya Kiswahili, kuli Kiswahili ya Lubumbashi na Kiswahili ya Tanzania na ya Kenya.
Okay,
So
thank you so
what
much.
is the
Nasema Kiswahili, and I speak a bit of Lingala.
Okay.
I speak Bemba, Tonga, Lozi, Nyanja, Kikaonde a bit. So I'm a basically, I speak Zulu, Nzokuluma.
We'll go on and on and on.
Thank you
Yes.
very much for coming through, Professor Vasoka, and hope to have you next time on the show. And for me, Esther and for Rai, see you tomorrow, same time.